Should you work out on an empty stomach or fuel up first? This question sparks endless debates in gyms. Some people swear by fasted workouts for fat loss, while others insist you'll tank your performance without eating first. The truth? Science isn't one size fits all, and what works best depends on your body, your goals, and the type of training you're doing. Stick with me, because in this video, we're breaking down the real pros and cons of both fasted and fed exercise. So by the end, you'll know which approach is right for you. Let's start by looking at what actually happens in your body when you exercise in a fasted state versus after eating, because that's the foundation for everything else. When you train in a fasted state, which usually means at least 8 to 12 hours without food, like first thing in the morning, your body is running low on readily available fuel, especially carbohydrates. Your glycogen stores, the stored form of carbs in your muscles and liver, are partially depleted. That means your body leans more heavily on fat for energy. This sounds great if your goal is fat loss, and in fact, multiple studies support that fasted workouts increase fat oxidation. That's the fancy way of saying your body burns more fat for fuel during the workout. For example, a study published in the British Journal of Nutrition found that participants who exercised before breakfast burned almost 20% more fat than those who ate first. But here's the interesting part. Just because you're burning more fat during the workout doesn't automatically mean you'll lose more fat overall. What really matters is your total calorie balance across the day. Think of it like burning logs versus burning kindling. You might use more logs at one point, but what matters is how much fuel you use in total. Now let's look at the other side. Exercising after eating, often called fed training. When you've had a meal, your glycogen stores are topped up, your blood sugar is higher, and insulin is active. This means your body has quick access to energy, and the biggest advantage of it is that you're likely to perform better, especially in high-intensity or strength workouts. Studies from the Journal of Applied Physiology show that athletes who consume carbs before exercise can sustain higher intensities and produce more power compared to when they train fasted. So in simple terms, fasted training may give you a fat-burning boost in the moment, but fed training can help you push harder and recover better. Which one's better? Well, that depends on your goals. If your main goal is fat loss, fasted cardio may give you a psychological and possibly metabolic edge. You know you're tapping into stored fat, and that can be motivating. But again, it doesn't override the basic law of energy balance. If you eat more calories than you burn, you won't lose fat, no matter when you work out. On the flip side, if your goal is building muscle and strength, working out after eating generally makes more sense. Muscles perform better with fuel, and you'll lift heavier, complete more reps, and recover faster. Training on empty can increase muscle protein breakdown, which is the opposite of what you want if muscle gain is the goal, but it's not as simple as it seems. The types of exercise you do in the gym also matter. For cardio, especially steady-state cardio, like jogging, cycling, or brisk walking, fasted training can be useful. Since the intensity is moderate, your body can rely more on fat stores, and you probably won't hit a wall too quickly. That's why a lot of people like doing their morning jog or brisk walk before breakfast. For high-intensity cardio or interval training, like sprints or HIIT workouts, you're better off eating first. These workouts demand quick bursts of energy, which come mainly from carbs. Without them, you may find yourself gassing out early or feeling dizzy. For strength training, eating beforehand is usually the smarter choice. Your muscles need glycogen for lifting heavy and completing sets. Plus, research from the International Journal of Sport Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism suggests that eating protein before and after workouts improves muscle protein synthesis, basically the process that builds muscle. Now let's talk about some other important factors that can sway whether fasted or fed workouts are right for you. One big factor is insulin sensitivity. Fasted exercise has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, which is how well your body handles carbs and blood sugar. For people at risk of type 2 diabetes or with insulin resistance, morning fasted walks or workouts can be an effective tool. It's like giving your body a reset button for blood sugar control. And here's another fascinating benefit of fasted training. It may help trigger autophagy. Autophagy is your body's natural cell cleaning process. It clears out damaged proteins and cellular junk, making room for healthier cells. Some research suggests that training in a fasted state can enhance this effect, almost like hitting a reset button at the cellular level. Early studies also point to the possibility that fasting and fasted workouts may help stimulate stem cell activity, which is linked to tissue repair and long-term health. While the science is still developing, it adds another layer to why some people feel sharper sharper, lighter, and even more energized after fasted workouts. But there are also risks with fasted training. Low blood sugar can cause dizziness, nausea, or even fainting in some people. If you're someone who already struggles with blood sugar swings, fasted workouts might not be the safest option. And if you notice you consistently underperform when training fasted, that's your body telling you it needs fuel. Another factor is meal timing. If you eat a large, heavy meal and then head to the gym immediately, you might feel sluggish, bloated, or even crampy. That's because your body is still busy digesting. A good rule of thumb is to allow at least 1 to 2 hours after a bigger meal before training. On the other hand, a small snack like a banana or a protein shake 30 to 60 minutes before can give you just enough fuel without weighing you down. We also need to consider individual metabolism. Some people feel energized, training fasted, while others feel weak and distracted. This comes down to your personal physiology, your habits, and sometimes even your genetics. The best approach is to test both and see how your body responds, not just during the workout, but also afterward. Are you energized or are you dragging for the rest of the day? Recovery is also one main factor we all should consider. Fed workouts generally give your muscles better fuel for recovery since glycogen isn't as depleted. That's why athletes often focus on carb and protein intake around their training sessions. Fasted workouts can still work for recovery, but you need to be especially mindful of eating afterward to give your muscles the nutrients they need. So where does this leave us? Let's put it into simple takeaways. If your goal is fat loss, fasted cardio can be a useful tool, especially low to moderate intensity like walking or cycling. Just remember, it's not a magic fat loss trick. Your overall diet still matters more than timing. If your goal is muscle gain or peak performance, exercising after eating is usually better. Fuel supports strength, endurance, and recovery, and reduces the risk of excessive muscle breakdown. And if your goal is simply to feel healthy and consistent, the best time to work out, fasted or fed, is the time you can do it regularly without feeling miserable. Consistency beats perfection every time. Think of it like this: a hungry lion is far more dangerous than a fed one. Picture a lion lying around after a big meal, lazy, slow, not really motivated. Now picture that same lion when it's hungry, alert, sharp, and ready to attack. That's how your body feels in a fasted state. Personally, I prefer fasted workouts in the morning because I feel more energetic, more focused, and I actually perform better. Over the years, I've also noticed more fat loss and better muscle definition sticking with this strategy. So next time you're deciding whether to eat before a workout, ask yourself, what's my goal today? If it's a gentle fat-burning cardio session, fasted might be fine. If it's a heavy lifting day, grab some fuel first, and always listen to your body because it will tell you more than any study ever could. And that's it. If you are taking canola oil regularly, you should watch this video next, where I have shared why you should stop using it and some great alternatives as well.